doctor and designing your own child. Maybe asking to change that one hair color that you hate or those eye color that you hate. Are designer babies going to shape and maneuver humanity right before our eyes? What are designer babies? Are designer babies the next biological perfection? This happens more than you think. Just under 3 decades ago, the first test tube baby was born, Louise Brown. She was the first human created out of the human body, and you would have never known the difference. There are actually many different forms of designer babies, and before we know it, everyone will be altering their children's genes and just to achieve something perfect, genetically perfect. I will give you a brief description of designer babies and all of the forms of this specific topic. Designer babies are whose genetic makeup has been selected in order to remove a particular defect or to ensure that a particular gene is present or in that child that you're trying to design. Research shows that there are advantages to designer babies and disadvantages, like every other aspect of life. Advantages are the positive things about the procedure. Those are things like eliminating birth defects, eliminating the diseases, eliminating the overweight gene, and parents can change the child's genes and add or remove genes that they like or dislike. This can be very convenient for parents who are using sperm donors and don't know anything about the father that they're using the sperm. Disadvantages are the negative or the bad things about this procedure. As parents change and maneuver genes and DNA around in the child, they could really hurt the unborn child, and if something went wrong, maybe even cause that child to die. Other disadvantages are losing that child's uniqueness. Everybody has a certain uniqueness. It makes them who they are, and you don't want to lose that. And also putting that baby and even the mother at a big risk of possibly. Even though this may sound like a good concept to you, others it's looked down on. From research I've gathered, designer babies haven't quite been mastered yet, and it won't be until they get all their research and further research this one topic. Due to this, IVF is another form of designer babies that are being used as research. In the beginning, this was frowned upon, but now it's just another way to make a child. IVF stands for in vitro fertilization. This is the most popular and closest thing to designer babies. It's a procedure where an egg is fertilized by sperm outside the body when all else has failed and there's nothing else they can do to have a child. Designing procedures are being performed on animals and other research animals. This is an easy way to perform their experiments without hurting someone. Scientists are actually beginning tests on mice and inserting the gene that makes flamingos fluorescent, and the outcome is a glow-in-the-dark mouse. It's amazing to me how someone can just throw this in and that in and it comes out like this. It's like cooking up a recipe and you don't know how it's going to taste. There are other forms of designer babies that I found in researching also. Human germline is commonly used for designer babies. This could lead to many genetic enhancements. Human germline seeks genes and eliminates any disease, leaving the disorder absent for the generations to follow. Another form of designer babies, but not overlooked, is germinal modification. Germinal modification alters stem cells by adding genes. In the end, where will all this technology and talk go from here? Will designer babies take a big hit and take over everything and society, human race, maybe even take charge of their own evolution? Only time will tell in the long run. Overall, there's just not a universally accepted idea of biological perfection. No one will ever be perfect in this world. Society makes the call in which genes are good and bad, and there's no way around it. So would you be willing to change your child and design your own child?